all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost quaint, very little security. People didn't even think of it. 4 years later, after John Kennedy's assassination, Lyndon Johnson was in a whole different dimension, awful lot of security.
The first use of the bulletproof limousine was
Right.
for President Johnson. As the president makes his way to the limousine, the honor today falls to Major General Michael Lennington of the U.S. Army, who with the military district of Washington, gets to be his escort this part of the way. Michael Beschloss, that's about as heavy on military tradition as we get for this event, but it's the only branch of the active duty service where they're allowed to and actually asked to wear wigs.
That's exactly right. And I think we won't see that in any others either, on any other occasions. Wouldn't have it any other way, given early American history. And in a way, doing it here is another bow to earlier American history, because presidential inaugurations for many decades were held on this east front of the Capitol.
That's right.
Until Ronald Reagan in 1981. It was moved to the other side, not by Reagan, but was intended to do that even before he was the sure winner in 1980.
As a D.C. resident, tell all of our viewers the significance of the president ordering that all the vehicles in the motorcade and henceforth in his presidency have these taxation without representation license plates.
Very strong debate that's gone on really as long as Washington, D.C. has been under home rule, which is since the mid-1970s, which is, should D.C. have 2 senators and a governor, since residents of D.C. do pay taxes? They got the vote, were able to vote for president only as early as 1964, because the original idea was that D.C. would be a federal district sort of abstracted from the other 50 states. People who are here, however, say, we pay taxes, we're Americans, we deserve representation. That has taxation without representation has been on Washington, D.C. license plates a long time. George W. Bush did not use them for 8 years. Barack Obama did not during his first term. Now he's begun. It
is game time for members of what's known in the U.S. Secret Service as PPD, the Presidential Protection Division, the closest circle around the president. They are added to on this day by agents from around the country in various divisions, including counterfeiting and intelligence, and they have the route completely secured. The president's in the vehicle, all but impenetrable vehicle that has an atmosphere all its own, and it's through those windows that most people who are lining up along the parade route will have to get their only glimpse of the man they've come to see. Look at how many layers thick. That is active duty and reserve, some cadets from the service academies. Then you have on top of that state police from, as far as we can tell, just about all 50 states. Then you have local and federal law enforcement officials. As the specially tricked out Cadillac gets underway, part of this massive, massive motorcade. The motorcycles come first. Sadly, another modern feature of the motorcade has been the addition of an ambulance bringing up the rear since the time of Lyndon Johnson. The agents will use the old-fashioned running boards on the SUV behind the limousine. They can jump on and off. That's been the case for the last several inaugurations. There's a camera truck, as you can tell, from which we're getting these pictures, just in front of the limousine. And so we begin, and it strikes me I'm joined by 3 other former fellow White House correspondents here on this distinguished panel, David Gregory, Savannah Guthrie, and Tom Brokaw. And Tom, things have changed in this regard over the years.
Yeah, I think what we need to remind our audience is that we here don't know the threat level that the Secret Service is hearing. And, you know, it does seem like it's excessive on many occasions, but at the same time they're responding to what may be in the air or intercepts that they've picked up in some fashion. Unfortunately, it's become a fixed part of American life, as we all know. You can't go to an airport, you can't go check in at a corporate place somewhere. I'm thinking the other day, nothing moves in America without being recorded on a video camera somewhere. That's good for law enforcement because they pick up a lot of people, but it is invasive after all. And it's a shame that you come to the nation's capital and there are so many restrictions on where you can go and when you can go. Having said that, we live in a very dangerous world in which it's difficult to track a lot of these people who want to do harm, especially in the nation's capital.
But of course, what perpetuates, just to take the other side, just to argue devil's advocate, this huge security city-state we have built up, especially since 9/11, is the not knowing that someone does know the threat level or lack of it. A lot of questions aren't asked. In the business of government, it's a blackout item. These are often not line items in the budgets that are using our taxpayer money.
Well,